Well, good morning, everybody. It's TGI Friday. Oh, yes, it is. And are we excited and are we having lots and lots of excitement already on this call? We are live in Crunk because we know that Coach Sharita Leon, who is our speaker this morning, is going to drop the Rise Up and Live nuggets for us to have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. In case this is your first time joining this call and you're wondering, I don't know who that person is, let me tell you about Coach Sharita Leon. She is a two-time award-winning writer whose book stayed on the top seller for 2 consecutive years. She is the amazing protege of the very famous Les Brown. She is a mother of one, a friend to all, my friend, my sister, my leader. She is a woman that you should definitely be paying attention and taking notes. One to follow, a life coach, a relationship coach, and just a people builder and a good feel-good person all around. I would like to present to some and introduce to others my friend, Coach Sharita Leon. Are you on the call this morning?
Woo-hoo. Good morning, Coach Scott. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Take us away.
Well, thank you for that amazing introduction. I'm telling you, y'all, she makes me feel so special. Well, great morning, everybody. Welcome to the Rise Up and Live call. Thank you for joining us. I sound super raspy, so please excuse my voice. Pray for your girl. But I thank you guys for joining me this morning. It is Friday. I know many of you are excited that it's the end of the week. I know that many of you are excited because you get to go ahead and figure out a way to enjoy your weekend. But this morning, I'm going to actually talk to you about that. I'm going to talk to you about happiness, right? Talk to you about happiness. So yesterday I heard one of my coaches speak on what makes people happy, or what are the 3 reasons why some people aren't happy. And I thought that what he said was so profound, and I want to kind of share my whole, thought on that. And then it kind of goes in line with what Coach Scott was talking about yesterday. So many of us have this idea of happiness, or we find ourselves in a place where we don't find ourselves happy, where you're either depressed or you're not happy, you're finding yourself, just existing. You're trying to figure out what that next thing is. And so what happens, we go trying to find other things, other people to fill a void within us that really no one else can really fill. And so we find ourselves in this place where we're just in limbo in life, or we're not as happy as we could because we think that we need something now to get us to that other place of happiness. Now, though I don't believe that's completely true, I do believe that there is some component of having certain things or certain people in your life that can aid to your happiness, that can aid to your joy, right? And so one of the things that my coach, Marcus Wyroja, said yesterday was that one of the reasons why people aren't happy is because they actually don't have the life that they want. They are living the life that was thrown at them. They didn't have a choice in their way growing up. Think about it this way. You didn't have a choice as to who your parents would be. You didn't have the choice of who your first or last name would be. You didn't have a choice of what school you went to. Why? Because wherever your parents lived, that's where school you went to, right? Based on their economic background, based on the zoning that they were in, you had to go to that school. So what happens? Then you're told to pretty much create a lifestyle based off, or not even really create, but you're told to go to school, get a degree, and then make money so that you can live a quote-unquote happy life. But then what happens is a lot of people, they'll go and choose a profession that will enable them the finances that they need to create that quote-unquote happy life, yet have that profession and not be happy. So this is why there are doctors, lawyers, the people that make 6 figures a year that still aren't happy with their life and don't find that fulfillment. Why? Because they chose a career path based on what someone else told them would be equal to life and happiness. And it's not really what they're there for. So you'll find people that say, you know what, I'm going back to school. I've met so many people, some that have so many degrees, yet they're still not happy. And in their mind, the thought process is, well, I'm going to go to school so that I get another career, and then once I get that other career, I'll be able to be happy. But in actuality, it's not the career itself that's going to make them happy. What they're thinking is, I'll be able to get another degree so that I can go forward and make more money. So really the pathway of where they're going, what they're trying to obtain is money so they can have a lifestyle of freedom. But what happens is they get caught up with getting more degrees, which then means you have more student loans to pay for, which then means you have a job that you could have made more money, but then from the taxes and from student loans and everything else, you're still stuck in that race. So what happens? You are still living a lifestyle that somebody else brought at you and an idea that you've adopted as to what your life should be, as opposed to letting you know that, hey, you're creators. You can create a life that you want. That is not something that we hear. And to those that try to create that lifestyle, someone tells that you're crazy for thinking that way. So could it possibly be today that you're not as excited about life, or you're not enjoying the way where you are right now, simply because you haven't decided, or you don't know that you can actually create a life that you actually desire? See, my book that I live by tells me that I was made in the image of God, that I was made in his likeness. And so God is a creator. Whatever he wanted, he spoke and he did. Likewise, I have that same ability and power. But society makes us feel as if we don't. And so we've created this idea of what life is supposed to be like. And this is why people are going from one relationship to another relationship. Why? Because they need to find a man to make them happy. They want a woman to make them happy. They want a trophy wife. They want a husband with all the money and the cars, and yet they're still not happy. There are many women right now married to a bunch of rich men that they're not happy. So what are some of those things, guys, that takes away our happiness? Well, one, comparison. Too often we're comparing our life to someone else. Well, she would, she didn't go to school as much as I did. How did she get that good job? How did she get that fine husband and the nice car and the 2 kids? And I've been struggling. I went and I got my PhD and I still can't get there. I go to church. I pray. I tithe. What's going on? We start comparing our lives to other people. There is literally no one on this earth that can take your place and do what you do. Regardless of what you do, no matter if you're in the same field, nobody else can do that. We have gotten into a place where we're no longer comparing ourselves to anyone else. We are individuals. We are fearfully and wonderfully made in our own right. And the moment you start looking at somebody else, it's a slap to the face of God to say, you know what, you didn't do a good job on me. Because why don't I look like her? Why don't I look like him? Why don't I have the great ability to speak like they do? Why can't I go and have a great job like they do? You're comparing yourself. And whenever you're comparing yourself, you will never be able to be fully content with where you are and be able to exercise and cultivate the giftings inside of you. And the moment you compare yourself, you're immediately taking away happiness. Another reason why, guys, is that people have a fear of people, a fear of their opinions, a fear of their thoughts. I posted on this yesterday on my social media. You got to get free from people. There are some of you right now that have great ideas, that have great business ventures that you want to pursue, but you're like, I can't do it because you're afraid what people are going to think about you. Some of you want to change your career. Some of you want to date other people, whatever it may be for you, but you're too consumed about what others will say if you do it. Well, if I do this, what my mother say? If I do this, what my bishop say? What did God say? How about that? If he has given you the okay to go forward, do that. But you cannot be consumed with people, what they think of you. Why live your life in somebody else's idea? I'll say that again. Why live your life in someone else's idea? You have got to get to a place where you're free from the opinions of others, whether people agree with you or not. But you move forward knowing that if you are in the perfect will of God, you will be fine. That is what you want to do. You want to have the mindset to please an audience of one, and that's God. Another reason why people aren't happy is because of fear of failure. Well, what if I do this and it doesn't work? What will happen then? And even then, that's still tied into what people will say, because the only reason why you care if you fail is because you're thinking about what people say about you. Well, she went ahead and started that business. I told her not to do it. She ain't listen. And so now you're thinking about what they think of you. Or you're thinking about how you've lost. You only lose, guys, if you don't learn. You only lose if you don't learn. A gentleman by the name of Shep said this. He said, I don't lose, I learn. I don't lose, I learn. What would happen if you had that mindset, that you realize that anything that happened in your life, be it bad, ugly, or indifferent, it wasn't a loss, but an opportunity for you to actually learn and become better? So get that fear of failure out of your mind. It's part of your process. Everything works for your good anyway, if you've been called by the Lord and chosen according to His purpose, right? But aside from a fear of failure, there's the opposite. There are some people right now that are afraid of success. There are people right now that are afraid of success, and that may sound crazy, but there are. I remember one time I was going to work with a particular manager, and she was a celebrity manager, and, she was going to represent me. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, my gosh, this is actually going to happen. Like, what happens now when I, start walking on red carpets and being interviewed and all this kind of stuff? And I got a bit afraid. And part of the reason for that was I don't like being in the forefront. I like being in the background, right? I don't like all eyes on me. But I also understand that the purpose of my life causes me to be in front of people, but I didn't like that. So now the thought and the idea of fear of success, what happens now? And some of you are afraid that if you're successful, you might leave some people behind. Well, you change now. Or she don't talk to us no more. Well, yeah, you should be changing. You should be growing. You should be elevating. And if the people around you aren't elevating, then, hey, you don't need to be around them either, right? But then again, guys, one of the reasons why we have this idea of not having happiness is because we have the wrong ideas in our mind, the wrong idea of what happiness is. First off, this is the thing. I believe that a great deal of happiness is based on happenings. So if this doesn't go right, you're not happy. If your husband doesn't say, I love you this morning, you're not happy. If your job doesn't give you a bonus this year, you're not happy. Happiness could be from happening. So if something doesn't happen the way you wanted to, you're no longer happy. We have got to grow and elevate from things being our way in order for us to be happy. But not only that, to have joy. Joy is based on what you know. Joy is being able to know that, hey, I am not based on my material things. I'm not based on what other people say about me, but the joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me, nor can they take it away. We must elevate from just happiness and basing things off of our happenings and it's evolving to joy. And how do we do that? Well, first ask yourself, what do you actually want? What do you want in life? Now, that may sound very vague and simple, but you'd be surprised as to how many people have an idea of what they want, but they don't really know what they want. They're not very specific. They say, well, I want to be happy. I want to be comfortable. Well, what does comfortable mean to you? What is the dollar amount that goes to being comfortable? And I believe I heard my mentor say that too. Well, what is that dollar amount that will get you to comfortable? Be clear. Be specific. Have a definiteness of purpose, guys, of direction. You have to see your life and the goals that you want to have as a target, or the bow and arrow. And you have that arrow, you want to shoot directly at the middle of that thing so you get exactly what you want. What do you want? What do you want out of life? From your husband, from the wife, from the kids, from the business, from the purpose, from the hair color, from everything. What is it that you want? Write it down. Articulate it. Write the vision. Make it plain. Be specific. Then ask yourself, who is it that you actually want to become? Who do you want to become? I had a coaching session with one of my clients last week, and I was asking them, I said, well, who is it you want to become? Because it seems like all your life you've been what everybody else wants you to be, and you're not quite confident in yourself, but part of that's because you don't know who you want to become. And part of that goes back to what I said earlier on, guys, because no one told you that you can really become somebody else. As a child, they ask you, well, what do you want to do when you grow up, right? They encourage you as a child to make you believe that you can create your life. But as soon as you start growing up, getting to that tween age, getting into your 13, 14, then it's like, okay, this is real life. You deal with it. But no, this morning I'm here to remind you that you can become who you want to become. I should have started many times with you all that I was a totally different person than who I used to be. I was very shy, very timid, but I understood that being that person would not allow me to be the person that God showed me I would be in my purpose. So I had to become someone else. Who do you want to become? From your attitude, from what you do, from how you conduct yourself, from the impact that you have. Who do you want to become? And lastly, what can you do today to start you on that process to get you to becoming that person? What books must you read? What new things would you learn? Who do you have to hang around with? What verbiage would you speak? What do you have to do today to help you become the person that you want to become, to go in your process, to grow in your process, and ultimately have the life that you want so that you are happy, so that you are fulfilled, so that you do have joy. God wants your joy to be full. He doesn't want you walking around life existing miserable. So if things are the way they are right now and you're not happy and they're not going the way you want them to, you know that there's more to life. You can literally have it. It's a process, and it first starts with the mind. Lisa Nichols has a book called Abundance Now. Go get it. It talks about creating the abundance now, how there are things in your life that you can do right now to take you to that place of your futuristic self, to enjoy every day. So I hope that this call this morning has allowed you to take some steps into creating yourself, creating the life that you want, finding out what's taking that joy away from you, the happiness away from you, and what you're basing it off of. And that you take your ownership of your life, like Dominique said yesterday, have it your way, place your order, be able to create what you want, knowing first that you can. Most times people don't because they know that they can, but be that person that knows that you can. I want to be sure that what I do, that just inspires and motivates people. This morning I want to be able to educate. My mission is to educate, empower, and equip you to go out there to create. That gets you hyped and not have any principles or tactics or tools to get you to where you want to go. So go out this morning and create the life that you want. Know that you can, regardless of what anyone says, and regardless that nobody else in your life or your family has done it before. You're the trendsetter. You're the one who's going to show and make the way for many others. With that being said, I thank you for joining me this morning. Make sure that you follow me on all social media sites at Coach Sharita. If you are a woman and you are in the New York City area, I want to see you August 26th and 27th, which is next Friday and Saturday, for the Broken Beauty Conference happening here in New York City with Pastor Medina Pullings and Pastor Joanna Zari-Contry, along with myself. So you get more information by going to www.brokenbeautynyc. And guess what, guys? If you're not in New York, you can register to watch us live, stream live for the conference anyway, so everybody can be part of the Broken Beauty Conference. So with that being said, Coach Scott, please take the call away.
Wow, what an amazing, amazing call. So I know that you guys got it. I know that you took notes, and you're going to go and create what you want to see happening in your life. We thank you all once again for joining us every single day here at 8:45 a.m. Be sure to meet us back here, same place, same time on Monday. And also follow me on all my social media pages. I am Dominique Scott. Remember to go with God, because God will certainly go with you. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Go create.